Hey all of you out there in Eorzea, welcome to She Heals I Tank, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. Today is Friday, July 23rd, and this is episode 227 of the Shit Podcast. I'm your host, Vegan Pete, and always by my side is the formidable...
Hey guys, Avi Ale here. How you doing?
Have I used formidable before, Avi? I could not remember.
I don't know. I just hit my mic already, so it's one of those days.
You are very formidable.
My ear's very loud in my ears, so I was trying to turn you down.
Thank you to everyone and joining us here live at twitch.tv/SheHealsITank, listening via the pod or watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for finding our little shit show wherever you may be. And for those of you that went above and beyond and subbed this week, we like to shout you out once again. Many gift subs from the great Bat Kid, who's now done 23 for the month. Insanely generous. Thank you, Bat Kid. We got first time subs from Zalbag8, Legentator, Wizards LV, Kid Mellow 94, Calamity Corvus, Grim Stemman, and 3 months we have Treylands Gaming. 4 months we have Fidu1. 5 months we have Lorosia. And we just got a sub from Esper Eidolon for 4 months. We have Spoony Bard Erilyn, Will Duran, Sir Dave Man, Naderade 19, all 6 months. Ghost Wolf Rage at 8 months, Connolly 9 months, Mieko FF14 11 months, Jessa 15 months, and Wando 25, and OG has returned and is at 30 months.
You also forgot Venjik at 24 months and KK McLeod at 26.
Just before we started.
Still counts. Don't act like it doesn't count.
I put them in the next one.
Oh, sorry. My God. But you just said Esper's, but then you wouldn't say theirs? You're confusing, Pete.
There was a noise, so I had to address it.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'll remember that.
All right, Avi, it's been a big week. We finally got the long-awaited live letter Part 2 preview for patch 5.3, and that will be taking up the majority of the episode.
That is the majority of the that's the news right now. Of course it is.
But before we get into that, it's everyone's favorite segment,
Greenleaf Minute.
It's the Greenleaf Minute.
This week's Greenleaf Minute is for all you serial healers or serial tanks out there.
What about serial killers?
Those of you who aren't happy just playing one healer or one tank. This is a tip that I've always done, but didn't realize that it actually was a Greenleaf moment until the topic came up in our Discord Greenleaf channel. So, you healers out there have very unique elements to each of them. Of course, it's what makes them all different. However, they all have a lot of the same abilities that also kind of work in the exact same way. The trick to being able to more seamlessly play all of them is to set your hotbars up in a way where those similar abilities are on the same hotkey. That way, when you try to swift raise someone, you don't have to think about where it is on your hotbar. You just press that button because it's always on the same spot, regardless if you're playing Scholar or White Mage or Astrologian. You just, the Control 4 is my swift raise macro. Boom. Nice and happy done. That's not mine. I'm just making up numbers at this point.
Just so you know, Chili did 500 bits, and we got to level 2 of the hype train.
Cool.
Got a hype train going, baby.
I think Pete's really tired, and he's trying to, push past it.
Oh, why don't you bring attention to it so everyone knows?
You're, overcompensating, and it's weird.
You're weird.
All right. Totally lost where I was. All right. So this tip also works the same, obviously, for your AoE heals, your single target heals, your main DPS abilities, and the same goes for your tanks, minus, all those healing abilities. This will more so align with, your tank buster damage mitigation, your ranged abilities, provokes, or general defensive cooldowns. Now, you obviously won't be able to have all of the abilities perfectly line up for all of your classes. If you could, would there really be much point to having all the different classes? So be sure to do what feels best for you, but also make a point to not make it too hard on yourself.
This is really the first thing I do every time I start a new tank. And I have it pretty much memorized now. Like when I do an alt on another server or something, I know where everything goes.
If you don't have it memorized, a really good trick you can do is if you're on a PC, take a screenshot of the hotbar you want to copy and have it on your second monitor. If, say, you were playing PlayStation and you don't have that kind of a view, maybe walk up and take a picture of your hotbars with your phone. And then that way you can just kind of like, get the crossbars too. So you get each one and you can swap between the images on your phone. Kind of like I do with pretty much everything. I take pictures of stuff with my phone all the time for future reference. So.
And thank you, Phoenix, for 100 biddies and says, I like the hair. I'm assuming they're talking to me.
And Chili just said you can press the share button to take a picture. Yes, Chili, but then you don't have the ability of the second monitor to view it at the same time. So it wasn't about the ability to take the picture. It was about the ability to look at your screen and at the screenshot at the exact same time. That's more the feature that would simplify making your hotbars kind of match. So.
And just in general, another Greenleaf Minute is once you find the hotbar layout that works for you, make sure you save it. Upload it to the cloud in case you ever lose it. Right, Avi?
We've already had this conversation. You don't need to bring it back up. We're good. We're good.
Thank you for that Greenleaf Minute, Avi. Now we'll get to your favorite segment. It's the tweet of the week. It is the tweet of the week, Avi, and this one comes from Sword of Storms. I asked people what they were most excited for patch 5.3. They responded MSQ mostly, but I have to admit that I can't wait for the yokai event to repeat. Gunbreaker and Dancer have so few glam weapons, and the yokai weapons look cool for both. Also, the mount is great. And I like that one because it was a little bit different. A lot of them were MSQ. No one else had said yokai.
Nobody elaborated. Yeah, the new mount is really cute for the yokai event. Is the yokai event going to be the same where you just do a lot of fates?
I believe so.
Yeah, I'm not about
that. To be fair, I didn't really do that much research into it because I just assumed it's going to be that with new
Chili says
new
yes.
minions and then the new mount.
I'm not about like the fate farming events unless I like really love something and I'm not my style. Not hating on anybody who wants to do it. I think it's awesome. I just nope, I'm good.
I'll look at the minions, and if there's any that I think are pretty cool, then I'll go get them. I'll do enough fates to get those, but I probably won't do enough to get the mount.
Right, that's fine.
So thank you for that, Sword of Storms. That was the it's the tweet of the week. See, I need a second one that says that was the tweet of the week.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
I don't think you do.
Weekend project.
You have other things that you should do in front of that one.
Notes around the realm, Avi.
Do you want me to go into this one?
I'll do it.
No, it's fine.
A lot of information from the live letter.
I can read this.
Start off with a quick timeline of what we're getting and when, Avi. What do we get in 5.3?
The big patch is going to be hitting on August 11th, which is very, very, very soon, guys. That's going to include MSQ, Near the Puppets Bunker, which is, of course, our 24-man raid, the new Dwarf and Beast Tribe quests, Unreal Trials with Faux Hollows, with the first of which is going to be Shiva. A Realm Reborn will be revamped and abridged and various job adjustments.
You want an unabridged version now?
No, abridged. Sorry. And quality of life adjustments, of course. We'll also be getting the special event, the Moonfire Fair, on August 12th, and Yokai Watch, which we just talked about through the tweet of the week, returns on August 19th. And then we get the Rising 2020 on August 27th. So this is like big seasonal event stuff, which it's kind of like, why couldn't we have gotten it earlier?
Yeah, I'm like, why couldn't they have given us Yokai Watch during this so we had something to do? That would have been perfect.
Yeah, it would have been awesome.
Lasted for, I think they said it's going to last until 5.4. So I assume we're getting pretty close back to the original development timeline of 3.5 months or so. So
I don't think our timeline's going to be back on track for a long time.
Well, they said it shouldn't be delayed.
I don't expect it to be like fully back on track for a long time.
Are you saying Yoshi P is lying to us?
I think he's very hopeful and he believes they can do it, but I do think there's just with the world today and the way that everything kind of seems to be going, best intentions are always there, but nothing really seems to kind of be lining up with that. So that's where I'm coming at it from. Like
they're set up, they're working from home. Who knows?
Yeah, it's it's I don't expect things to be like the back on track from now on. Like, no.
5.31 will come 3 to 4 weeks later, which will include the next restoration of Ishgard stuff.
And 5.35 will come out about a month and a half after patch 5.3, and we'll be getting In 5.35, the next relic step. So you'll be able to upgrade your relic and partake in the Boja Southern Front, which looks really cool, actually.
That just reminded me that we weren't getting Boja Southern Front in 5.0. That's what I was mostly excited for, too. I was all ready to start playing it on the 11th.
Oh, really?
God damn it.
No, I expect that to be later.
All right, Avi. Something that we got with patch 5, or with the live letter, was the trailer for patch 5.3. And as we always do, I think we're going to take a watch of it right now.
Take a watch of it?
Take a watch of it.
Okay, well, I'm going to be I'm going to be looking at Pete's screen because we didn't set it up so we can play at the same time.
It's just going to be it, so they won't see you.
Oh, cool. Okay, so then I'm going to, yeah.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Blood, language, partial nudity. Sexual themes.
Oh my god. I love the music so far. All right, so now we're seeing the crystal tower with like pretty like shards of crystals kind of falling down.
Shadowbringer's logo.
Warrior.
Dark Knight, Warrior of Light, running
toward the crystal. Looks like we're at the dungeon.
Hold on. It says it's not on screen. What the
All right, Pete's pause it. You gonna pause it then, Pete? Pause it. You're gonna do that because now I can't. So no one can see it. It paused for them. Sorry, podcast listeners. I was also not doing a very. I think Pete and I are like not in sync very well with trying to talk about it because we both kept pausing, waiting for the other one to say something.
No, that's all in your head. I think it had to do with full screen last time. So let's try it this way.
All right, starting
Go.
it again. All right, so now we got our pretty music. That worked. So again, we got the Crystal Tower logo.
We got the Warrior of Light as a Dark Knight running towards the Crystal Tower.
Yours is a long road.
It's like the dungeon that we
New
did get
dungeon.
in.
We're watching a
Scions.
star shower. And you got like a quick thing of a new boss. Two new bosses.
Dungeons, cutscenes, the new star showers.
Wait, is that?
This is like old action movies where it's just so quick cut.
Well, it's kind of interesting because you see the
forget the faces
beast tribes were
and
fighting the
voices
mobs there.
of those you have met
Ancients.
along the way.
Yeah.
Another new boss, I think, is a dungeon.
It's like Thancred saying goodbye to Reen.
Head tats for Reen.
Yep. It's like
New
the
mech drill motorcycle thing.
Excellent.
Airship down.
I had intended to
Elidibus
speak
and
with you
Ardbert.
alone.
Of course, we knew there was a
Ardbirtibus.
We're climbing up a ladder. I don't remember the character ever climbing up a ladder before.
I think we have.
Voices. Can you truly be sure you still
That's a
speak
mech.
your own?
Guys, it's me.
Guys, all man.
Gundam. Gundam robot.
And apparently we're piloting the Gundam.
That's what I think. And then you were fighting the Sapphire dude.
Nope.
I can never remember the name.
I won't let you go alone.
The Sapphire what, Pete?
I
Not
didn't
this
hear.
time.
We were flying in A Realm Reborn.
All right, now we're in the near stuff. Which is very
The
cool
puppets
looking.
bunker.
It's much more spacey now, almost. The
We got
dwarven-
dwarves running.
Their whole area is getting destroyed. The music's pretty good.
They're moving to Lakeland.
The fights look pretty damn cool.
We have a Rothgar that to me looks like he's tempered.
I think it's part of the Relic Quest.
The joy you have known.
Arbor just stabbed freaking Crystal Exarch.
Finally.
No! The Ancients as a memory. More star showers. It looks like it's like back in time old star showers. Crystal Exarch's in pain.
What we think might be the original Warriors of Light. We're not sure.
Showing up to fight along with us against Arbor, maybe?
And your comfort.
Oh, KK just said so the Exarch lives because they showed that. You know, that sounds about right.
When all is said and done, I would ask a favor of you.
When all is said and done, I would ask a favor of you.
Don't forget me.
Don't know what that means. All right, Avi, what'd you think about that trailer?
Thought it was a very good trailer.
I thought it left me wanting more.
What more did you want?
It didn't get me as hype as I was hoping.
What did you want?
And I think it was because it was such quick cuts, like I kind of mentioned during that. I didn't really get engrossed into it.
Well, I think that they also know that like a lot of people are going to go through and slow them down and dissect them.
So make it longer. Make them earn their money.
What?
I was kind of curious though, because
It's more work to make one with shortcuts, by the way, than long cuts. Editing is more work with shortcuts than with long cuts. Just saying.
I don't know. But this one clocked in at 2 minutes and 44 seconds. I was kind of just curious how long the previous trailers were.
So it's like all about the length to you.
Yo, yeah. Patch 5.2's was 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Patch 5.1's was 3 minutes 44 seconds. And I didn't consider Patch 5.0 trailer because that's like the beginning of an expansion. That trailer was 4 minutes and 32 seconds though. So even though it really feels like we're getting a lot this patch and I am excited, we do have a trailer that's between 12 and 30% shorter.
How much effort did you put into this math? Like, how long did that take you?
The math? How long does it take me to divide on a calculator?
No, because you had to look up all the time limits of all the different trailers and put all this together.
It took like 30 seconds.
Okay, I don't care about any of that. Like, literally, like I just said, they could have shown the same amount of content. They just chose to show shorter clips. So the length of the trailer does not denote the quality of the patch.
I'm saying I don't feel like I got that much in that trailer.
That's because you're dumb.
It's not a valid argument. It may be true, but it's not a valid argument.
I just think that's it's odd to me that the patch finished and the first thing you thought was, I don't feel like I got as much. I'm going to base this off of the time and look at the length of the other ones.
I do kind of miss the old style trailers where it's like you're getting this for crafting, you're getting these minions and showing off the minions.
See,
like,
I feel
we don't
like
see any of the minions.
I feel like that's what the live letter is for. I enjoy the trailer being like, it's like a movie thing to just kind of get you excited to go, what is that? What is this? What is that? And it is hard to follow, but I mean, Meoni, Mr. Happy, Zepla, like so many YouTubers have gone through and dissected it that you could just go watch a YouTube video and get it like fully dissected by somebody who knows.
Is a trailer good if you have to dissect it?
But that's what people do. Like, is it I mean, I just feel like a trailer is supposed to tease things, and it's supposed to like make you want to know more, make you want to watch the movie, make you want to play the game, not to go, oh, I'm getting this, I'm getting that, I'm getting this. I understand everything that's coming from this. That's not what a trailer is for.
To me, it's like, okay, there's a lot of stuff cut really quick together, and I have no idea what the fuck is going on. It did not make me like hype for it.
Well, you've just been complaining about the trailers since they changed them that way, so you're just not going to be happy with any of the trailers.
No, I've been happy with them. I don't think I didn't have this complaint with the other ones. I didn't go back and be like, damn, that seemed really short. I'm going to go back and look up how long the other ones were.
No, you did complain about the cinematic element of it versus the like, show me exactly what I'm getting. Pete's a simple man, guys. He doesn't want it to be artistically done.
They try to be deceptive, and I don't even think they do a really good job of that. It was just like a cut together madness thing. I wasn't into this one. Okay,
I'd love to hear you guys on Twitter or in chat here. Let us know if you felt that it was that way as well. I did not feel that it was a sloppy mess, I guess is what Pete's kind of calling it.
You can even call into the show if you want, and I will tell you why you are wrong.
Oh,
if you disagree with me.
That'll be fun.
All right, so do you want to go a little bit slower through the trailer, Avi?
No.
And did anything...
No, we've got some notes, like some bullets that we were going to kind of talk about. We don't have any screenshots to go through it all because, I mean, I don't want to try to go slower through the trailer because, like I said, people on YouTube have already done that, and this is primarily an audio, podcast.
Yeah,
so it doesn't make sense to look at the images.
Shot by shot, but just any big things that stood out for you?
I just want to go through our notes that we wrote up.
Okay.
I don't have anything I want to jump to before we get there. I'd kind of like to go through it. People in chat, I loved the music. I'll agree with Esper on that.
Was good.
And then Disco Cup says, I appreciated it. It's like a movie trailer. If you show me everything in the trailer, why should I watch the movie? Exactly my point.
If a movie involves the Crystal Exarch getting stabbed, you just want to see that?
Well, as KK said, and I actually fully agree with this, because they showed him, air quotes, dying, that to me says he's not going to die. Because everybody expects him to die because they always build one character up to get you attached to them, to kill them off. And I feel like that's their way of he's not actually going to die because they make you think he died, kind of like they do with like what they love to do with Y'shtola.
The only thing that would surprise me is if they killed off Alphino, and oh my god, I'd be so happy.
You wouldn't be surprised if they killed off Y'shtola?
No.
Shit, they're moneymaker. I'd be surprised. Yeah, like the thickest plot armor known to mankind.
All right, so I think one of the main points of the trailer was showing off the new dungeon. Seems like we got if not every boss from that dungeon, 2 of them. I think we got all 3 of them.
Well, we're only getting one dungeon, and the dungeon seems to be very pivotal to the story, because a lot of the scenes you see, it starts out with the crystal tower with those star showers, and then the warrior of light running toward the crystal tower with those shards, and it looks kind of like it's in the dungeon in the hero's gauntlet.
Did you say crystal shower? Because I think that's like
crystal tower, star shower.
I know, but you know how it's like a golden shower? A crystal shower is when the crystal exarch does it to you.
Ah, is it blue?
Yes.
Got it.
And it tastes like mint.
You didn't have to go there. Did not. Didn't. Nope.
What were we talking about?
Yep.
Dungeons?
Yeah.
Dungeon?
They also show, it looks like they're possibly in the same dungeon, and we do see Alphino, Alisaie, Y'shtola, like the whole, basically the Scions also watching the comets falling, the star shower. Or was that not from the dungeon?
I don't think the star shower was from the dungeon personally, but I don't know.
Okay.
I am not included in the development meetings. But yeah, the last boss that did you already talk about the Berserker?
No, so it's much easier when you slow it down. So there's a boss that looks kind of like a Berserker guy. He like immediately when you do see the slowed down images and you have a chance to really look at him, he looked to me like a crazy amped up version of like the 2.0 Warrior of Light, like when he was the OG warrior, the 2.0 warrior. Like he very like had the horns on his helmet, and he just like the whole vibe of the armor felt like he was that warrior to me. So I don't know if it is like an iteration of that, but it'd be kind of cool if it was. I don't know, and it would just kind of be interesting to the story. And then because of the other boss that we've seen, which is the lady, who some people said they kind of reminded them of a black mage with like the scarf on her head and everything, the head wrap. I thought it reminded me of an astrologian, but like you could, it's kind of interesting to think of how it could be a play on other characters or NPCs or memories like they've done before, or different versions of Warrior of Lights. I don't know.
Yeah, if they're going for the whole Hero's Gauntlet and kind of reimagining the Warriors of Light, or Warriors of Light, I can definitely see that. There was another boss that we just got like a really quick shot of, and it was blurry, but it seems to be a paladin. Has a sword and a shield and a weird headpiece that kind of has like a horn on it. And something I noticed that like everything that we've seen from this dungeon so far, nothing really from it would suggest like the gear that we're getting from this dungeon.
No, it does not. So I feel like we're definitely going to have to see the story for the gear to make sense.
Yeah, it's going to be from like cutscenes with the ancients or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's just the gear we're getting.
That's the gear. Gear's
doesn't
tied
really
to that.
have to do with the dungeon.
But I do find it interesting that like the 3 bosses that we've seen have all been very humanoid. That's not something you always see in all of the bosses. Like sometimes there'll be one there's usually like one humanoid, maybe 2, and then there's one that's kind of more animalistic. And this is all 3 of them are very humanoid and all reminiscent of jobs of classes in the game. So I just find that kind of interesting. Plus, tied in with the name Hero's Gauntlet, that whole combination of elements, I don't know, is intriguing to me. And because we're only getting one dungeon, I like that it's enough to make me think about it. And I got that from the little tiny trailer, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Like, I picked up on stuff. I'm just saying it's not what I want. So yeah, in this dungeon we see us, the Warrior of Darkness, Alisaie and Reen. We see a white carbuncle too. You told me that is Alphino's carbuncle.
Oh my God, you guys! Pete swears he's never seen a white carbuncle.
I don't remember ever seeing a white carbuncle, but usually I want to gouge my eyeballs out whenever Alphino's on screen.
It's not only on screen with Alphino though.
I also didn't know that his job in Shadowbringers was academician.
Say it again.
Academician.
One more time.
Cardassian. Which I think translates to pretentious scholar.
And I think it's just a name they gave him so that he could actually play a healer in the Trust and still be an Arcanist, but have his custom name. So instead of making him a scholar, they just leave him somewhere in the middle with his custom job. Kind of like they did with all of them. Like, none of them are actually black mages or red mages anymore, or, you know. I guess Urion J is an astrologian. I have to look up his title, but he's
Chili
like a full-on
wishes he
astro.
was a Kardashian.
My God.
We get many star shower clips throughout this trailer.
Star Shower is going to be a big deal.
I don't really know what to do with that. I think we covered the dungeon pretty good. We see some Garlemald flags, which I'm assuming is going to be the Sorrow of Wurlet solo instance. We see other characters, but they don't appear to be any of our Trust buddies. So while I think it's Sorrow of Wurlet, it could actually be the 24-man raid. I don't know.
I don't know.
I highly doubt it would be the 24-man raid, but I was like, why are all these people running with us?
Oh, the climbing up to the ladder? I thought that was still like... Okay, so... Well, was this the Sorrow of Wurlet? So that is solo?
Yeah, Sorrow of Wurlet is the solo instance.
I don't know. I feel like, well, so it could have been mishing in elements of the new relic stuff that we're going to be getting. What's that one called? Southern Baja? Because that would kind of make sense because it's got a whole Garlean vibe to it.
Yeah.
So that would make sense to kind of like tie that in, which is going to be like, what, 48 people?
That could have been, one of the fates.
I seriously don't remember ever seeing my character climb up a ladder and jump over the top of it.
I can't say for sure. I feel like I've seen a character climb a ladder before, though.
I don't know. I don't feel like I have in this game. So Chili's agreeing. He's saying it's the major critical engagement.
Southern Bozja. Major critical engagement.
Yes. So it is the southern thing.
You can play that with your tactical assault commander.
The southern thingy. So we do see that Pete's description was the boss in the sky with a big old spear shooting something at our airship.
I think that described it perfectly.
Oh, God. With more Star Shower in the background, which hits the airship with Reen and the twins on it.
So there's a chance Alphino goes off the edge, dies.
It's not going to happen, Pete.
Fingers crossed, baby.
It's not going to happen, Pete. And
do me one favor, Square Enix. Just kill off Alphino.
And then the next thing that's even better is Pete says, you stole us speaking. But, because she's a pretty girl.
I was obviously going to add stuff after that.
Were you?
Then I forgot.
Were you?
I wrote all the dialogue
There was
down.
a lady talking. I didn't actually hear what she said, but I did hear that there was like sound coming out of her mouth.
You are sexist, Avi.
Oh, so we see a super frustrated Gaius who's like banging
pounding the table.
Yeah, he's like, and that leads into the sapphire weapon. We see kind of a cutscene that looks like one of Gaius's adopted children, but like when she's grown. And she's talking to, I don't actually know which officer it was, which Garlean officer. I did not recognize the armor.
Yeah, I did not either.
But I'm sure there's someone out there who has. One of the things that was interesting is, so we do see the big old Gundam flying robot thing, if you're not familiar with what a Gundam is.
It's like a transformer.
Kind of, yeah. But it's the color of it is blue and white. And we had thought that it was a teaser of the sapphire weapon. And it is, in fact, fighting the sapphire weapon, which we know is a solo instance. And the sapphire weapon is way more dark blue. Like, lots and lots of dark blue. So, Pete, you don't have to be upset about there not being enough blue on the sapphire weapon now. So you're good there.
Yeah. Would you like to apologize to me now for saying that there was plenty of blue?
I still think there's plenty of blue. But I think that's definitely going to be an interesting solo instance, since I don't know if we've really done anything solo like that, and I can definitely see people wanting to be able to repeat that fight.
I hope it's not like just a little middle phase where it's like, hop in the Gundam, press your button as fast as you can, and then you'll hop out and do something else.
I can totally see that happening. Actually, it would kind of suck, but yeah.
Active time maneuver.
We have done that already, have we? I don't even remember. I know we've done it in PvP. I don't remember doing it for a solo instance.
And then we get a little shot of us flying over Middle Lenosia. So we got a little bit of a Realm Reborn flying preview.
It was very pretty. I don't know. I'm not super happy about it, but it was a pretty shot. We see we're basically a cutscene with the Crystal Exarch. I don't think he looks happy this entire patch. Like he's not doing too well.
Well,
he's
when you're
like,
half crystal,
and he's like trying to imbue his blood essentially into that crystal. Like he's giving a lot of himself. So don't expect too much happy Crystal Exarch. I don't know if we ever really
that's
got a lot
why
of
he likes giving crystal showers to relax.
Gosh.
And we get some shots of the new Nier raid with lots of mechs, space station, dwarves running all over the place.
It did look like when you looked at some of the more close-up shots, it almost looked like there were like female stormtroopers fighting along with us. Like it's not that we were fighting. I don't know if they were fighting us or what, but they were very.
Do the stormtroopers allow females into their ranks?
I'm sure they do. I don't know the lore on that. But the stormtroopers weren't like originally. It wasn't about the ranks. It was a clone. That was the whole thing. They were clones. Mm-hmm. So that was all male. So there wouldn't have been a female because they were all the same person essentially.
There's definitely female stormtroopers at Comic-Con.
Yes. Okay.
R.I.P. Comic-Con.
Right.
This year.
Yes.
Watching the star shower again over the ancient city. Sword and shield light figure running towards us.
It looks like the embodiment of like a warrior of light.
Exactly. And then maybe on the southern Bozja front, relic quest line, there's a Rothgar who the first thing I saw when I saw his bright blue eyes, it reminded me of the last relic part of the quest where Sid's father was tempered by Dragon in the Moon.
Bahamut?
Bahamut, there we go.
Dragon in the Moon.
Dragon in the Moon.
That's the name of this podcast. You have to call it that.
So that's what I thought it was. You thought it had maybe something to do with the Arasite.
It could, yeah, like with the weapons themselves potentially like taking over the characters. Like I do feel like it's some sort of a tempering, but not necessarily from the Dragon in the Moon. I love that so much. And so I was like, I wonder if maybe it takes a very strong-willed person to be able to handle those weapons. And so maybe that could be happening. I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting to see what direction they go with that. But it is a tempering of some sort. Yes.
And then we got a shot of our Litobus stabbing the Crystal Exarch.
When you say it that way, it just sounds like you're saying the name wrong. Our Litobus.
Looks very similar to the iconic shot where Hearts and Farts had the bright light staff attack and he died.
Yes, and I think that's also why I agree with KK said earlier, because they made it look so similar to the angle and the light and the attack that we all know killed Horsefant. I don't expect it to kill him because I can't see them doing it in the same way. Like it's not the same way, but it's kind of the same way. And there hasn't been another side character of a good guy that's been as liked as the Crystal Exarch in a while. And so
I guess people really do like the Crystal Exarch.
Yes.
I don't give a shit about the Crystal Exarch.
So I feel like Chili's like he did.
I feel like they want us to think he's gonna die, which makes me think, they think they're gonna like pull a quick one on us and he's gonna live, and I'm gonna be like, oh well, that was really underwhelming.
Yeah, I hope. But you know what? This whole story has been the way they've been telling the story has been so good through all of Shadowbringers. Like if someone's arc isn't as satisfying as the rest of it, like that doesn't lessen the entire storytelling. Usually
their it's not a 0.5 patch, but they're trying to wrap up this story. Usually they're pretty good at the beginning, they're pretty good at the end, and the middle part can kind of suffer. So I have faith in Square Enix to tell this story well. I just really hope they don't mess it up because I'm really enjoying the story as well.
Don't go in it with like negative intent or anything there.
Don't fuck it up.
God. So yeah.
We get a shot of the Crystal Exarch, and it looks like the crystal part of his body is being torn from him.
Like his hands are in front of him, and it looks like it's just kind of like flaking.
Maybe
off.
That's what he has to do to put his blood into the crystals.
It didn't look comfortable. That's all I gotta say.
I thought he was uploading himself to the cloud.
And then
That's how
earlier,
he's gonna come back.
how we saw like the embodiment of the Warrior of Light. Now it looks like we have a whole bunch of different Warriors of Light, essentially, because you see a bard, you see like warriors, you see all these different classes that are all a glowing golden color. It doesn't feel
There were
ominous.
more than usual.
but
though.
it felt like they were joining us. Like it didn't. From the scene, it felt like it was something like on our team. It wasn't something against us.
Yeah.
So it was like a good thing.
And then the trailer pretty much ends with shots of Elidibus with his glyph, and the Crystal Exarch ends it all holding the crystal, or the crystal hovering between his hands, which is like the artwork that we got for the patch.
Yeah, you can't act like a character is not liked when he seriously was the entire patch cover art.
I mean, you can put someone that's not liked on cover art.
Have they?
Has Alphino ever been? I'm pretty sure
By
he has.
himself?
I don't know.
That's what I'm talking about. By himself. It's about getting people hyped. Yeah.
You got all hype for the crystal shower?
Oh, yeah. So, Pete, you wrote down some dialogue. I'm not going to try to read this because you wrote all this.
I wrote down the dialogue, but none of it seemed very important to me.
Okay.
So we're going to skip that.
Okay.
Let's get to the live letter, Avi.
All right.
The live letter itself.
Okay.
It was nice to see Yoshida and Foxconn. It's been a while. They were in the same room, probably at the Square Enix offices.
Makes sense.
I feel like they were a little bit far apart from each other. They were socially distancing still.
I feel like it almost feels weird to be closer to people now. Like, even when you see them for work, you're still like, I don't know. We both have masks on. I'm still gonna stay over here.
Super weird when they do interviews and they have like a long ass stick that they have a microphone taped to the end of it, and they're like putting it in the person's
I haven't
face.
seen that. That is weird.
It's
So
weird and hilarious.
They kicked off with a big announcement from a Golden Disco Ball. And when they opened the disco ball, the banner came out to announce 20 million registered accounts. Pete's favorite thing.
I don't need to rant about this again. I don't care about registered accounts. Tell me how many are active and playing. And like Yoshida's shirt said during this live letter, the way they present that number has both lies and truth.
His shirt said that?
Yep, lies and truth.
Oh.
And as you know, Yoshida does like to use shirts to give hints to new jobs during fan fests. So I wonder if maybe he was trying to point at something for this MSQ. Maybe there's going to be a lot of deception.
You wonder? I think like 100% yes.
Lies and truth.
Yes, that's exactly what that shirt was.
Who's telling the truth? You damn Asians.
So, FanFest.
Speaking of FanFest, Avi, Japan has now suffered the same fate as North America, and it has been canceled due to FanFest. They still have not canceled the European FanFest.
It has been canceled due to FanFest.
What? Canceled due to coronavirus.
Damn you, FanFest. All because of you, our FanFest was canceled. FanFest is the FanFest's fault.
I don't talk well. They still have not canceled the European FanFest, so have the faith, cross your fingers, and wear your damn masks.
Oh,
You damn UKers.
All right. There's some G-Pose announcements. They showed off the new sticker mode in G-Pose. Excuse me. And it's pretty much what you would think. You get to add stickers on top of your G-Pose, and you can also add text blocks. You can add a lot of stickers, but the text blocks are not customizable. And Yoshi P pretty much said it's because we don't trust you.
Ha!
So, but he did show that
I've seen what you do with mods, you fucking sickos.
No words for you. But he put a ton of stickers on there. I think you can get like 100 stickers in your sticker on it. So it's like it's a lot. It should be fun for people who like doing the stickers.
They should have made it so you had to like collect the stickers first to be able to use them.
I'm not sure. There's a new minion. It's a watermelon minion that looks pretty freaking adorable. It like breaks in half and opens up. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I like the watermelon minion, and of course we're getting lots of new minions with Yokai Watch coming.
Mm-hmm.
But the watermelon minion stuck out to me.
Oh yeah, as Chili says, gonna call it the summer event. I mean, watermelon and summer. Yeah, and it also kind of makes sense with the Hawaiian shirt and the like khaki pant and khaki skirt glamour that we got. Like that's most likely, I feel like, going to be like the summer event stuff. It's like barbecue time, guys. We've got plenty of chicken and meat. Let's get some watermelon. So the vegan has
The
something to
next
eat.
one will have a cantaloupe.
No, bananas. I'd rather have a bunch of bananas jumping after me than a freaking rolling cantaloupe.
Like you're playing Mario Kart.
Yes.
For the mounts, we saw a Gundam-esque type of mount that was pretty damn cool. We also saw an Iron Giant type mount. And we were able to fly in the A Realm Reborn areas. So you still are against that, right?
I just,
Well, I got good news for you, Avi. You can't fly in the new...
the old.
Well, you can't fly in the new relic area, the Southern Bozja front. So when you want to just run on your mount, you can go there.
The one thing is, though, you are not, the new players, you're not going to be able to fly in the Realm Reborn areas until you've completed the main quest for those areas. I remember the exact verbiage for that, but so it's kind of like what we got with Heaven's Ward, where like you unlocked flying in a zone right when you were leaving it, so it was really more annoying than anything else.
Yeah, that's why I hated that Aether Currents were from some quests as well.
They fixed that. They fixed that in Shadowbringers.
No, it was still part of quests.
They made it much better in Shadowbringers.
Okay, but it still led to the same problem of we were pretty much done with the zone by the time we left. I would love if they had the option where I can just explore the zone and find all the Aether Currents first, and then I'll get to my questing.
Yeah.
I would have loved that. But it's like, nope, we're not going to let you fly too soon.
Ha ha, bitches. Get some friends to give you a ride.
In the previous shows that we've discussed the possibility of Square Enix making A Realm Reborn in its entirety available via the free trial for those players using the free trial.
Well, they did better than that.
They went above and beyond that. Those that use the free trial will now be able to level 60, and they can also play all the way through Heaven's Ward.
Yeah.
Once they get to Ishgard, they can play Dark Knight, Astro, and Machinist, and they will be able to select Ara as a race. Restrictions on in-game currency and market board use have not been changed.
As well as joining parties and stuff like that, right? Like
Yeah,
you can't.
basically all the same.
That's a long time to not be able to, like, do party chat, join a free company, all that kind of stuff.
You're not even allowed to use the market board, I don't think.
Yeah, that'll be. I feel like that's like kind of like playing ESO without getting ESO Plus, where you're like, you can do it, but it's not gonna be that great.
Yeah, you can join a party if you're invited. You can't start a party.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. But that's.
I think you're limited to like 1 million gil or something like that.
But that's to limit the money RTMs or whatever. It's so they're not selling, because they invite people to parties all the time and send tells all the time. So they're trying to limit that essentially.
But I think this is amazing because, you know, maybe you convince someone to give the game a try and they just get like slowed down by 2.
It's exactly what happens.
2.1 to 2.5. And it's like, oh, come on, man. I'm paying for this monthly. So now it's like they don't feel like they're rushed.
Right.
They're not going to get burned out because they're trying to beat it as fast as they can to catch up and not spend a bunch of money on it.
I mean, they still might be doing that, but at least they won't be spending a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Not a bunch, but they're not going to be spending money on it, just time.
But I think it's even more important that now they can just take their time and if they're feeling a little bit burned out on the story, they don't have to feel obligated to play, which I think is that's like the biggest contributor of burnout, feeling like you have to play the game.
Yep.
So I think this is amazing. I don't really see anything wrong with this. And they did say that the Final Fantasy XIV Starter Edition will also be expanded to include the above updates. So if you buy the Starter Edition now, it will include Heaven's Ward.
Oh, good.
So I believe they put out a press release afterwards that said those who have already bought the Starter Edition will have access to Heaven's Ward if you haven't bought the Shadowbringers expansion yet. Because obviously, if you buy the latest expansion, you have all the previous ones. So.
Right. Just like any other game.
So that is awesome. Good on them.
Mm-hmm.
That, for me, that's like almost the biggest thing of this live letter.
It's a big deal. Well, I feel
this was like the one piece of really, really new thing that we got from this live letter. A lot of it was kind of rehashing with stuff we already knew.
Right. Well, I do feel like Square Enix has really been looking at the longevity of Final Fantasy XIV, and the longevity of Final Fantasy XIV is encouraging new players to keep playing. So if you can get a new player, that's one thing, but if you can't keep them, and I think that has definitely been an issue with trying to get through A Realm Reborn. So if you can get players and then keep them, you're likely to keep them longer, obviously. So by extending this and making it less intimidating to try to get through the game, and then also by streamlining A Realm Reborn, and then so they basically made it their criteria for the game was really weird before, where it was like every quest had to take like 9 minutes, and so that was kind of their...
I read that. I'm like, God damn, that is the stupidest rule I have ever
that's
heard.
because they had a very short period of time to try to get everything together. So these 9-minute quests sometimes were just really redundant and busy work and stuff, and so they really tried to kind of streamline everywhere they could without taking out, important characters. But one of the things I thought was really brilliant of them, and a smart way to avoid player feedback, like just backlash, is that all of those quests are still available as side quests. So if you do want to dive deeper into the lore of A Realm Reborn, they didn't just take it out of the game. It's not just gone. Now you can go and do it as a side quest instead, and I think that was a really, really smart choice on their part.
You want to go get this guy some fish? Go do this quest.
But yeah, so Oakenhop said it very, very well. The story is now going to be even more digestible and coherent, and that's really smart. It needs to be, because it's really hard to get new players to stay. And if all of us, if you veteran players want Final Fantasy XIV to stay around, which we all do, then we need more new players to keep playing. And so that's what they're trying to do. It's the longevity thing.
And I think it's awesome they included Heaven's Ward, because how long has it been since Heaven's Ward? It's been a long time. I don't think anyone can feel like butthurt that they're giving it away for free now. You paid for it. You got to play it 6 years before the people doing it for free.
I think I had read that they only wanted the free trial to go to 50, but something about it, like they also wanted to include Heaven's Ward, and if they were going to do that, it had to be to 60. I don't really remember how that worked out. I read about it.
Oh yeah, it'd be weird to let you do the Heaven's Ward storyline,
right, but not be able to get to 60
because the dungeons go to 60.
That's what it was. Thank you, Chili. They didn't want it to be the cliffhanger ending, which you get with A Realm Reborn. So instead, they gave you Heaven's Ward, because like the cliffhanger ending feels like, well, fuck you. Man, when True Blood was new, every single episode ended in a cliffhanger, and I was like, if you were like burning through that show, sometimes you have to watch the first 5 minutes of the next episode just so you could stop, so you knew that person wasn't dead. Like, don't do that to people. It's not cool.
And I think it's just even more of an opportunity to really hook a new player into the story, letting them play like this.
Heaven's Word shows the different directions the game can go, because if you only get A Realm Reborn as well, then it's like it's very one note. You see how the game was a long time ago, and if you do Heaven's Word, you see how it can progress and how it can change. And then if you do Stay Along and you do Stormblood and Shadowbringers, you'll get to kind of go on that journey and see how it progresses and changes. But if you only do the free, you only get to see it from the first season, essentially, as they do it like seasons.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that second season to really get into characters.
You know what I wouldn't be mad at is if they took a little page from Elder Scrolls, and if you paid the monthly fee, you got like access to all but the current expansion. Like, so if you were paying the monthly fee, if you were already a subscriber, let's say you just subscribed now, you'd have access up to Stormblood.
Or up through Stormblood.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
That's another idea for you, Square Enix. We have some job adjustments. They're thinking about some Grease Lightning changes for Monk, but that would be part of a rework planned for patch 5.4. For now, Perfect Balance will have cooldown adjusted. Form Shift will have Oppo form requirement removed. Bards are getting potency increase for GCDs. Astros are having some abilities reduce their MP cost. And Summoner will have their Tri-Disaster nerfed because they too OP. And Warriors is going to be easier to keep your Storm's Eye buff up.
And so Yorha Dark Apocalypse Puppets Bunker looks like a crashed vessel in the middle of a desert. And Yoshida showed a boss that was on a typical circle arena, but he was able to fall off. So that is not very typical of 24-man raids. We haven't seen that since Ozma, I think. And people died a lot. Like a lot.
And I hope they have like a lot of mechanics going off that require you to run away from like AoEs on the ground, and you have to actually pay attention. Because Ozma, yeah, you could fall off, but there was really little movement in Ozma. Like
you say that, Pete, but literally, like if in Ozma, it was when that was new, you had 3 groups, and one person could wipe half the raid if they just dropped the freaking.
Yeah, but that had nothing to do with them falling off.
No, but I mean, like you could, if they fell off, then you had the wrong amount of people in a group, and that marker could go to a different group, and that could mess it all up too.
The biggest problem with Ozma is apparently people don't know their right from their left.
Right. Well, people, there's a lot going on.
Drop your markers to the left. What?
Supposedly, Yoko Taro said it was too easy, and he wanted a part that if someone screwed up once, they just killed everyone.
Hell yes.
So yeah. Oh, Spookatron says casual here, and I will fall.
There's nothing wrong with falling, though.
Nope.
It's fun. Some of the funnest times in Raid is when... I've done it myself plenty of times, but I love it when, like, out of the corner of my eye on the screen, I see someone's avatar just fall off the edge. It's like, that is awesome.
It's pretty funny.
You just fell.
Yeah, or even when you, like, you've been, like, running, you forget you can fall off the side, you're like, I totally just jumped off the edge, or a Dragoon leaps back, or Red Mage leaps back, and they're like, pew!
You know how many times I've been raiding and I've been, like, running away from a mechanic and sneezed and fallen off?
You sneeze a lot when you play?
Every once in a while. I was like, God damn.
Always on those ones I can fall off the edge.
It's like, why is it always right in the middle of a mechanic where I'm running to a mark I have to hit on the edge? Sneeze, and I'm off.
KK says Pete will run off the edge to get away from that damn bird.
Fucking birds.
Oh, is that a
Fucking this whole raid tier has birds. Fucking hate birds.
He does hate birds.
Fuck birds.
I love birds. All right, so Save the Queen relic quest. So
do we want to talk any more about your Dark Apocalypse? Like, you excited for this one?
I mean, I always like the 24 doing the 24-man raids blind with everyone else is always my favorite content. Like other than MSQ, like my favorite playable like group content. So I'm excited for it because of that. I didn't play Nier. I do like that the mechanics are different than the rest of Final Fantasy, so that's always kind of cool. I don't think, like, as far as mechanics go, I don't think the last Nier raid was like my favorite. I don't know that I
my biggest problem with the last one was that the bosses seemed to just have too much HP. They took a long time to kill.
And the group did, like, it didn't matter how much you screwed up, you like would beat it eventually.
That's kind of been what 24-man raids have been for a while.
Yeah, they kind of I don't like that as much.
There's like usually one fight in each one where it's like if you screw up mechanics you'll die, but for the most part,
yeah, it's pretty survivable.
As long as you can have like one healer up there, will be able to raise everyone.
I get that because there's so many people in it, and not everybody, you know, is like everybody's at different skill set levels, and people get mean. So that's to avoid drama, avoid mean people. So yeah. I get that. I mean, it just maybe it would be kind of cool to have a, you know, like a. I mean, it's too much for the game, and I realize I'm asking for too much, but to have like the extreme version of the 24-mans, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I would like that. What they showed in the live letter part was pretty different from what they showed in the trailer. Like in the trailer, they had you running through like that sleek looking white, like spaceship type thing.
Yeah, like to the next boss.
And then this is like, so maybe we're going to get a quest where that thing crashes eventually, and then that raid is going to be going through it after.
That makes sense. I mean, how else would we get to the ship?
Asians.
That's always the answer. KK sounds like Avi wants to raid.
And next they talked about the Save the Queen relic quests. This is the Southern Bosjan Southern Front. It's going to be up to 72 players.
Oh, I said 48.
No, there's different parts.
Oh, I see.
I think in like the general area, it's 72. It's going to focus on story quest, or you can take on extra challenges. You have to be level 71 or above, free to change jobs inside, just like in Eureka. You will gain experience on jobs under level 80. You'll get level sync to 80, and gear will be synced to eye level 430.
So this is definitely going to be like I feel like you're going to level, your EXP is going to be pretty good in here. I feel like this is you're not getting a deep dungeon, you're getting this instead.
Well, wasn't Eureka the same way?
I don't remember really going into Eureka to level, But I did read as well that this is kind of like we're not getting a deep dungeon. This is essentially our deep dungeon equivalent for leveling.
Ooh, I'm interested to see if it's going to have the replay value like that.
Right.
Mounts can be used immediately after entering, but you won't be able to fly. I think that's a great choice, not necessarily about the flying part, but that you'll actually be able to use your mount right away. That was the stupidest part of Eureka.
That was so annoying. Oh my gosh. You're like, hey guys, anybody got a two-man mount? Like everyone and their mother was a freaking red mage just so they could res people? Yeah.
So, in the Bosjan Southern Front, you're going to do battle with the 4th Imperial Legion to raise your medal. Raise your medal by joining special encounters in the Southern Front, skirmishes, and critical engagements. Medal cannot be gained from killing enemies outside of these encounters.
I'm really curious to see, because it really does feel like a redone Eureka from the descriptions to me.
They're trying to improve on it.
Yeah.
It's using the bones of Eureka.
Yeah, it's definitely using the bones of Eureka. So I feel like I really hope they were able to do it right this time.
It's building on that rotting carcass of Eureka.
It really is. And a lot of it feels like things that are like, it's not that. It may look the same. Well, that was a circle, you guys. And now this is a square, okay? It's totally different. Yes, you have the different abilities, but this is a square when that was a circle, okay? And like that's just kind of how I feel but about the descriptions. And I know I'm talking a little bit of shit, but I'm not actually going to have an opinion on it until I do the content, but that is kind of the vibe I'm getting from all the things I'm reading.
It seemed like the dev team tried to like distance itself from Eureka.
Oh, they tried so hard that it made it like
it's not like Eureka, but like
they tried too hard.
Everyone that I hear talk about it, they're like, "Okay, I'm ready for the next Eureka." Like everyone
it's
knows.
Not like Eureka.
It's basically the
same.
This is
a square. It's a square. Eureka was a circle.
Yeah, it's an oval.
Yeah. Let's hope not that's similar.
So the skirmishes are like fates.
Which we did in Eureka, but they're not fates. Eureka had fates.
They're notorious monsters.
Bosjan has skirmishes. Totally different.
They will be initiated randomly in the field. No limits to the amount of players that can participate. Medal reward will be commiserate to contributions to battle. You will also get lockboxes. Where did we see those before?
I actually hadn't heard about the lockboxes. That's funny. Okay.
Which can be appraised to receive various rewards.
Yeah.
Critical engagements are initiated after meeting special conditions. They are limited to 24 to 48 people, designed to be intense battles that take place in the field, comparable to dungeons or raid bosses. Awards greater medal and rewards for completion.
Okay, so that's kind of like Diadem, where we were trying to spawn what was the really big monster? You remember what it was called?
I remember what you're talking about. I don't remember.
It's not the same thing, but I'm just saying, like, they're literally taking all these ideas that, like, this is a really good idea. We just did a really bad job implementing it. So we're taking that same good idea and we're hoping to implement it better.
Emergency mission is what it was called in Diadem.
Oh, yeah. See?
They're like, what has failed? Diadem? Eureka. Take parts of both of those.
Well, they took the parts that were, I'll agree, they were good ideas. Like, even when it came out, like, this is such a cool idea. This is really lame to do. So they potentially could, present it in a different way that it comes back to being, like, a really cool content, I hope.
And
maybe.
With sufficient metal, you'll raise your resistance rank to help the front line push forward.
You had elements before, guys, and the elements would either make your resistance or your attack better.
You had elemental rank, now you have resistance rank.
Yeah, totally different, not the same. One had a circle.
You're going to be working towards storming Castrum Lacus Latori.
Okay.
I think there might be a clitorius joke in there somewhere. Lost actions are special actions that can only be used in the Bosjan Southern Front. They offer various beneficial effects, healing, and can even revive players in battle. They are created from forgotten fragments obtained in the field. Each crystal used to create these actions has a given weight. Players can only carry a certain combined weight, so you must choose wisely.
It's kind of similar to Eureka, when you would go and like get the buff.
You have chosen poorly.
But like trickier. gonna say I like the hiccups today. I hope it's better. I'm not trying to poop on it right now.
It does sound, I just like making the jokes.
It's just
that
funny.
it's so similar, but it does sound like it's quite a improvement on Eureka.
I hope so. I really, really do hope so. Like I said, no elemental wheels. No. Instead, you have the resistance. Totally different.
You have the resistance oval.
Totally different. But it's just funny, and I don't have any negative connotations toward this. As Oakenhop just said, but it's hard to be worse than Eureka, right? I mean, Diadem was worse than Eureka.
Was it though?
Yeah, it was. Dino Island. So let's just hope that. I mean, I feel like Eureka was better than Diadem. Like that was their improvement. So this is like the step past that. So hopefully it's a bigger leap this time. And again, I know some people enjoyed Diadem and Eureka, and that's okay. You are allowed your
I
opinions.
feel like everyone that likes Eureka though likes that they're on the last part and can do Baldesion Arsenal.
Some people enjoyed the whole process.
Yeah, I think those are few and far between. I meet very few of those people.
All right.
The ones I meet are like, hell yeah, Baldesion's Arsenal is awesome. It just really sucks getting there.
That's fair.
The Resistance Weapons questline can be continued after opening up the Bosgen Southern Front and accepting a quest to begin collecting items to augment the Resistance weapons. The required items can be found both inside and outside of the Bosgen Southern Front. So you don't have to do the Bosgen Southern Front to upgrade your Resistance weapon.
And again, I do like giving options. Again, this goes back to like the mindset of retaining players to me. Is that, we get that not everyone liked to do that, because I legitimately didn't enjoy Eureka, so I didn't even finish doing my relic weapons, and it was like the first time I didn't finish leveling at least one relic weapon, because I disliked it so much. So
and I didn't even like hate the first part of Eureka.
No.
But when we got the Pyros, it's like,
yeah,
what the fuck? This is the same shit.
Yeah, that was it. It just ruined it for me. And so if I'd have had another option, that would have been like a spare time thing in the very least. So I like that. To me, this is again one of those things of we're listening to you, we hear you, we want to make sure that everyone is able to do content, even if it's not content they don't like the way to do it. So here's another option.
And Sword of Storm saying the glam appeal of the weapons wasn't that great either.
Mm-hmm. I do think that some of the gear was really great. The ones that you get, like the class gear that you could dye, and then they got like the really shiny ones later on, which I didn't get any of those, but they had some really cool gear. Just the weapons themselves were not that great. But yeah, everybody's chat's not super happy. All right, so we already mentioned the yokai watch, which lots of new minions, and the mount that's like looks like a blow up
which I
yokai
wish we would
cat.
have had in 2.0.
Why?
Because we had a shit ton of time in 2.0. Sorry, 5.2.
Yeah, so I was so confused. I was like, why in 2.0?
Man, hitting that time machine.
Pete's getting old, guys. So the Dwarven Beast Tribe is indeed in Lakeland, and it is going to be toward Grafters. There's going to be a tragedy happening in Calusia tied to the Yorha raid, and so then the dwarves had to move, and so the story is going to explain it. If you watch the trailer, you'll see that they did have spots of, or shots of fire and explosion, and then the dwarves doing their little Lalafell like screamy.
Yeah, I didn't like that they had like the same mannerisms as the Lala.
They are Lalafells though.
I know.
My God, Pete.
But I'm like,
you want them to design entirely different like emotes
dwarves
for all
are supposed to be like fucking badass.
But they're not dwarves. They're Lalafells with helmets.
Beards.
Those are helmets.
Beards.
They're helmets. Chili. Goodbye, world. I'm going to be leveling with my dwarf friends. You shaved your beard, Chili. You're no longer a dwarf. You're back to being a Lalafell. Oh, bearded helmets. My God. All right. Crafting changes, Pete.
Yeah, crafters, it's mostly quality of life adjustments. We're going to have mass desynthesis, which is nice for fishers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really ever come across any times other than fishing that I would ever have a stack of stuff I needed to
That's
desynth.
the other thing, by the way, from reading like the patch notes. They're giving us more fish. We don't need more fish.
New diadem gathering points, which there were too much to begin with in the first part of diadem.
But like they don't need to do different fish. Just put the same fish in other spots. Like there's so many fucking fish. Like, it's too many fish. Like, if anything, it'd be like, hey, guys, we're going to scale back on the number of fish. Like,
That's like
ocean fishing was,
the
like, ridiculous.
biggest reason I've never gone back into diadem after doing it for like the first week.
Oh, the
Is
inventory.
the inventory space.
Ooh,
Are
it's
you
painful.
fucking kidding me?
Yeah, no, it's painful. So, like, to add more fish is just like, why? What does that actually do? I don't understand that. So I seriously think someone's job was like, fish. Your whole job, this entire patch, is make more fish.
And after you get to level 15 in a craft, you're going to be able to try the recipes after that without actually consuming materials.
I think that's cool.
So you're just going to be able to practice, which is pretty damn awesome.
I think that's cool. Yeah, in 6.0, Chili just mentioned that the new race is going to be fish.
Fishman.
Fish. No, just fish. You're going to flop around.
No, it's just going to be Fishman. There's going to be no Fishwoman.
Oh, we already got Rothgar.
We only get one gender at a time.
No, it's neutral.
So we're going to have
It's just fish. Not
Fishman.
No, just fish.
And Carp Woman.
No, just fish. It's going to be called more fish.
And there's also going to be a reverse recipe lookup feature where if you have a material in your inventory, you're going to be able to click on it and see what you can make from that material.
Disco Cub's there with me. I'm here for playing as a non-binary fish. That's right. That's what I was going for.
But you'll get no hairstyles.
You get different scale patterns. That's all you get.
That'd be badass, actually. Fucking rainbow trout.
And nothing will change. All right.
That was basically what I gathered from the crafting changes.
Yeah.
You get different length of whiskers on your catfish.
Yes. Oh my god. Okay. Anyways, patch note reading. What is the patch note reading?
Oh yeah, they're gonna be reading the patch notes on August 10th around 2000 JST, Japan Standard Time. Apparently, they didn't put this one into PST because they're like, you fuckers aren't gonna watch this. It's all in Japanese.
Yeah. Well, some people might, but I thought math was so easy. Why didn't you math this one all easy?
No, that requires Googling.
And we did kind of mention the Hawaiian shirt and the khakis. And we are also getting like a hula dance, which I think is actually pretty cute. The Hawaiian shirt legit looks like that looks like my dad, that Rothgar. Like if those were khaki shorts instead of khaki pants and he was standing by a barbecue, that's my dad. Like my dad even kind of used to have that hair. Like he's a little more gray now, but he had that like flowy Rothgar hair going. And in early 90s, even the mustache. So my dad, oh God, my dad's a Rothgar.
Gross.
It's weird knowing. Yeah. All right. Sorry.
I'm down with the Hawaiian shirt though. I want that. Fuck the khakis.
I don't like the khaki skirt either. It feels very preppy for me. I'm not super into preppy.
Yeah.
We also got some new housing items.
They didn't give us boat shoes.
They might. You didn't see the feet. New housing items. Some of them are kind of near-like, so it was kind of torn down looking. I don't know. It was interesting. We got like a low-profile couch sofa, which looked
Got
cool.
a really cute hamburger.
Oh, I didn't see the hamburger. And we finally got the Rothgar and the Vieira mannequins, so you can put those in your houses, apartments, rooms, whatever you want.
I wonder if they gave you both genders of the mannequin.
Shut up, they did not.
I said I wonder.
They did not. Ooh, KK McLeod made a really good point, Pete. Will you rock the Hawaiian shirt as a permanent upgrade to your glamour?
Fuck no.
I mean, it's kind of you.
Maybe on Fridays.
That's like whenever there's an eternal bonding ceremony or anything like that, that's when Pete will put on the Hawaiian shirt. That's those are his fancy clothes. I would rather have had the girls had the pants or like some cute khaki shorts. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of khaki skirts. Subligar and Hawaiian shirts.
I've still got style, and the Subligar and the Hawaiian shirt don't go together. Okay. My glamour totally goes together.
Totally.
When you throw a Hawaiian shirt on that bitch, it all goes to fuck.
Yes.
Merch, Avi. Stuff that we never buy because we're too poor. There's going to be a album called Pulse, Final Fantasy XIV Remix album, $34.99. It seemed to be mostly like EDM style music. So if you're into that, knock yourself out.
Icarus is acting like I actually have some sway over you. He says, update his look, Avi, make that happen. Do you not see his hair and his beard and stuff? Like, he doesn't do stuff for me.
What are you talking about? You gave me this haircut.
That wasn't my choice. That was to keep you from turning into
my
like shaggy homeless looking person.
Quarantine haircut, baby.
Yes.
Then we
this
also
one's not bad.
have the Final Fantasy 14. Is it Meister or Master?
Maester?
Maester.
That's what I would say.
Final Fantasy 14 Maester quality figurine Omega. This one is pretty pricey. $229.99.
It's very pretty and it's very big. It's got
It said it took them like a year in development to be able to make this thing because you have the Omega mount and then you have male, female, Omega.
Right.
So it was like 3 different figurines
put together. It's gorgeous. And it does come with an emote as well, I'm assuming. I don't know what the emote is. But oh my god, Icarus is messed up. Pete, read what Icarus wants me to do to you.
Step 1, slip some laxative into his vegan casserole. Step 2, replace his glam on his computer while he's dying in the bathroom. Step 3, question mark. Step 4, profit. 1, she would never make me vegan casserole. 2, I have conditioned myself a la the Princess Bride with the poison with laxative so it has no effect on me.
I love that you made a Princess Bride reference for me. That was for me. And we still have the Y'shtola figurine available for pre-order for $94.99, and she is very cool looking. She's probably my favorite figurine that they've released, actually. A little pricey for me again with the $95, but I can look at pictures of her. She's very pretty.
We're not getting any of that.
No. It's my favorite movie too, Esper.
All right, Avi. Oh, that sound effect is really low. The fuck?
That's what you should work on instead of trying to remake the Vegan Pete one.
Teach me some lore, Avi.
All right, so this is from Icarus.
Is this a new one or an old one?
It's actually a new one.
Hell yeah. Good job, Icarus.
Here's a hint.
Do I need a hint?
Do you not want the hint?
Give it to me without the hint.
Okay.
I will phone a friend for a hint.
Okay. Let me cut it out because you're going to look at my screen most likely. All right. Control X. All right. What was the Shadow Keeper's goal?
Who the fuck is the Shadow Keeper?
Do you want the hint?
Is it who the Shadow Keeper is?
It will help you at least narrow it down.
All right. Give me the hint. Phoning a friend.
This is related to the Shadowbringers class quests. Shadowkeeper, Barkeeper. Shadowkeep, Barkeep.
Talking about the role quests?
Yes.
At least I got the name right.
You can at Icarus because this was his text. All right. So what was the Shadowkeeper's goal? A. To make the 13th into a world flooded in void to rejoin the source. B. To make the first into a world flooded in light to rejoin the source. C. To upset the balance between light and dark.
Wait, who was the Shadow Keeper?
I actually haven't finished.
What was my hint?
It's related to the Shadowbringer role quest. The Barkeep is the Shadowkeeper.
The
Barkeep, Shadowkeep. That you listen to me. Yes.
Like the one who served that little dwarf all the beer?
I haven't finished the quest. You have. That's why I asked you that beforehand to make sure, because I still have to finish leveling my warrior.
Okay.
All right. Do you want me to start over again? Because
I don't even know what the question is at this point.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. So what was their goal? Shadowkeeper's in charge of, all the things. What was the Shadowkeeper's goal? Listen, okay? Now stop focusing on that and actually listen to the words.
Getting drunk.
To make the 13th into a world. The 13th into a world flooded in void to rejoin the source. B. To make the first into a world flooded in light to rejoin the source. C. To upset the balance between light and dark on the first, but not to flood it. D. To guard all the shadows on the first. Duh.
I feel like I would know this one if it was worded differently.
Icarus, he's calling you out. I thought the wording was very good.
Well, I don't really understand the question. Because I don't know who the Shadow Keeper is.
I had a feeling this would happen. That's why, like, Icarus and I had a whole conversation about it.
Can I look at your screen now?
Yes.
Who's the Shadow Keeper? Take the 13th into a world flooded void to.
Talking to your mic. Don't act like me.
Just because it has to do with the story. I don't know. Story of Shadowbringers. They wanted to flood the world in light. I don't know. So B.
Chat had a hint that the Shadow Keeper was actually in the 1.0 trailer.
You think I've seen the 1.0 trailer?
Yeah?
I didn't play in 1.0. Played in 2.1.
Okay.
B. Final answer.
You're wrong. The answer is C, to upset the balance between light and dark on the first, but not to flood it.
How'd that work out for you, Shadow Keeper?
So how old was Alphino when he graduated from the Charlayan Studium? Do that every time.
Son of a bitch. Well, it wasn't 16 because I guessed 16.
No, you didn't.
Didn't I?
No.
You fucking liar.
I'm not.
What'd I guess?
I'm not telling you.
God damn it. What were the choices? 14, 15, 16, 17?
Yep.
17. Final answer.
The answer was 16, which
God damn it.
why you didn't give that as the answer last time.
Why didn't I guess 16? It's the most obvious answer.
It's
Just when you
European.
get your driver's license.
Oh, what was the Horschiffon sigil?
Unicorn.
I can teach him some things, but not many.
I can pierce the sky with my horn. That's what their house saying is.
Creed?
Credo.
Credo? Oh my gosh. And then what was the name of the ship that you protect from a band of pirates?
Motherfucking Victory.
Okay. I have to like
stupidest ship name ever.
I have to repeat all the questions to you. You know you've gotten them wrong the past 3 weeks in a row.
No, I didn't. I heard the sound. Means I got it right.
No, it means you pushed that button. See, she was supposed to get it to the brink, but not flood it completely. She fucked up with Ardbert, and it tipped too much to light, which caused the flood.
Okay. Shadow Keeper.
He said the tip, and then now KK's like, Ascian's got her to the tip. I didn't say tip because I knew P. As soon as he hears just the tip, it's like, to the tip.
Can't control my horny level.
No, we cannot. Let's move on. Well, we don't really have any discussion.
Yeah, I figured we'd be pretty long like we are for discussion today.
Yep.
But I did put it out on Twitter, so this is like discussion / feedback. I put out what are people excited for in patch 5.3. Escalia said, I need to know how this story ends. Me too. I really hope we have a satisfying ending to this because they've done so well.
Kill everyone.
So far. Do not fuck it up. Let's just kill Nanamo just for fun.
Chili says, I hope to see if I'm right about the new trial.
I don't remember what you guessed about the new trial.
That it was Ardbert.
What you guessed.
Pete doesn't listen to anyone but himself.
Gnarlkill says, job adjustments. I'm leveling Ninja to cap just in time, but I'm also interested to see mech combat and mechanics.
Scarlet says, MSQ.
For sure. Ya boy Bahamut says, Nier and mechas.
And Rathok says, story for sure. The crafting updates like reverse lookup, though, also look like great quality of life changes. Will be nice when I get a random map from a venture to not have to go outside of the game to know what it's used for. So Pete, we also, before we get to the next segment, we had that drawing that we were doing for the carbuncle competition, the slippers. Did you want to? We
have the carbuncle slippers coming up, and there was a little miscommunication between Avi and I, so just the winners from the previous contest went out today. Yeah,
well, I reached out to everybody today. So if you have not heard from me and you're one, I emailed the 3 winners. So if you did not hear from me, please, some of you I need to hear back from because I want to, make sure we got to verify you've got a lodestone character, all the good stuff, because we don't just want to send a code to somebody who just joined a competition to join.
Resell it on the Final Fantasy 14
Well, because it happens. Market. Some people just see competition and they sign up for everything regardless of what it's for. So we do want to do our due diligence to make sure that we're good. All right, so there really is no So if you remembered, who was it that donated these, Pete?
This was Esper.
Thank you so much, Esper, again. So this was the ruby carbuncle slippers, the emerald ones, and the topaz. So there is no order for first, second, and third. So the winner of the ruby carbuncle slippers is Brandon Bush.
Congratulations, Double B.
Yeah, the winner of the emerald.
Maybe you don't need to say their both names. Maybe you just do their first name.
Okay.
Quit doxing people, Avi.
The winner of the emerald carbuncle slippers is Spyros on Twitter, with a lot of numbers after that. And the topaz carbuncle slippers goes to Dave Sweeps on Twitter. So congrats, Dave.
That
And
definitely sounds like a sweepstakes account.
so I will be emailing everyone. And then Pete, just so you know, I know we're on stream here, but I made a Google Drive folder for us to keep track of all of our campaigns that we're doing giveaways for, so that we don't have the issue that we had with the last campaign, and it's all available with one another. So I shared it with you earlier today, so we won't have that issue again.
Didn't get it. Now we have Community Roundup partner. And everyone knows, because we have mentioned him many times before, Meoni on YouTube. You've probably already watched his video breaking down the trailer, breaking down the live letter. But what you might not have known is that he recently just started streaming as well.
On Twitch.
So I want to make sure everyone knows that he is streaming now, and that you go and follow at twitch.tv/Meoni, MEONI. Give him a follow. Chili just posted that link in chat.
Thanks, Chili, so I don't have to write it.
So he does the amazing videos on YouTube, and you can also listen to that sweet, silky voice on Twitch now as well while he's streaming, because apparently he finally got decent internet. No longer has to go to Starbucks, or maybe he's going to Starbucks to stream. I don't know.
That would be impressive.
I'm imagining he got better internet.
Yeah, I think that's what happened, because I know his internet was down for a while, so it was like fully gone. So congratulations, Meoni. We're really excited for you. Welcome to the streaming community. And yeah, awesome.
Avi's the welcome committee, apparently.
I'm just a nice person. God, you jerk face. Woo! All right, jerk face. Anything else you want to add?
Just that you did an amazing job today, Avi.
I know.
That's what you get for calling me a jerk.
So that is going to be it for this episode. As always, we've enjoyed hanging out with all of you live here on Twitch. So thank you so much for taking time with us. Be sure to hit that follow button so you know the next time we're going live.
Like Chili.
And a great big thank you to everyone listening to the podcast through iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, or whatever app you choose to listen. We really are the reason we keep making episodes. And remember, wherever you do listen, it would mean a shit ton to us if you gave our little shit podcast a rating or review, or just tell a friend, check us out. Here at the Compete, I'm Avi Ale, and we will talk to you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.